What is going on, guys? It's GeneralTarheel bringing you the SDL Season 4 Week 5 battle versus Coach Nico and the Orlando Magikarps. Now, coming after Week 5, we did face Coach Friesh. In Week 4, we got an unfortunate loss. It was a strange battle. Make sure to check that out to see what happened. And just moving on, I just wanted to win to get back on the board. So just move on from last week, Nico only has a 1-3 record, but he has a very scary team based off his roster. And his roster includes Manaphy, Mamoswine, Florges, Crobat, Mesprit, Gourgeist, Mega Charizard X, Skarmory, Mienshao, Alolan Persian, and Togedemaru. Now, when I was looking in the team prep, of course, like I just said, it was a very scary team. At the same time, I had to meet certain requirements, but it wasn't too hard to team build. So first off, I have a Scarf Coco. This Coco had Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, HP Ground, and U-Turn. This was 252 modest with enough speed to outspeed Scarf Mienshao, with the rest in HP, I believe. This was mainly because Scarf Mienshao was kind of a problem for my team, or if he brought Bandit or something of the sort. Normally they're Scarf though, and just in case, Crobat actually did a lot to my team too. So if he was like Physical Choice Bambat or something else, I wanted to make sure I got the outspeed because Crobat and Tapu Koko actually speed tie at both base 130. So I wanted to ensure that Tapu Koko could get the kill on Crobat instead of risking a speed tie and dying to like a cross poison. So Tapu Koko had the Thunderbolt, just of course for coverage and stab, as well as Dazzling Gleam. Hidden Power Ground was specifically for the Togedemaru you see on the screen. That was easily his best answer, and I knew Togedemaru was going to be the Tapu Koko answer because even I used it, and when Gen 7 first came out on the ladder, I made it as my funny Tapu Koko answer. So that was definitely like good prep on my part, and then I had U-Turn, of course, just for momentum. Considering his only other form besides Togedemaru of stopping an electric or volt switch is Mamoswine, and Mamoswine lives a grass knot normally, and I didn't want to risk it being scarfed for some reason. Scarf Mamo could do a lot of work for some Beedrill, Coco, and Latios, so I just felt like I'd rather just go for the U-turn, and then I would just go ahead and get the momentum base off of it instead of worrying about getting a kill, which is good because it shows he didn't even bring the Mamoswine. Next up, I have Mega B, a very basic set, just enough speed, 252 Adamant. I had U-Turn, Poison Jab, Drill Run, Knockoff, the most basic B you could bring. I just felt like it did a lot of work versus team once the Skarmory went down, which is very true if you look at his team layout. But I just felt like B would have been good enough. It was basically the 6-mon fill-in. I wasn't sure if I wanted Latios or something like that on my Lodic, but I opted with Mega B because I still wanted to use it for the U-turn with Tapu Koko to get as much momentum in this battle. Next up, I have a Klefki. This is a Spadef Klefki, I believe. This was in order to take on some things on his team, but mainly in order to take on the Crobat. Actually, it's defensive Klefki because it was supposed to take an offensive Crobat like 100%. I didn't bring Psychic, that was interesting. For Klefki, I brought Thunder Wave, of course. Flash Cannon. I brought Heal Block, so Flora just couldn't heal up, or Skarmory, or if it was a Roost, Charizard X, or Crobat. And I brought Magic Bounce because he has a lot of taunt capability between Crobat, Mienshao, Skarmory, and I believe or Alolan Persian, other stuff like that. So I felt like the Magic Bounce would have been helpful, just to get the taunt on them, and then they can't taunt me afterwards. Because that's what some people need to start doing for Klefki, is just taunting it, because it gets a hold of some of these teams. Next up, we bring Choice Band Sneasel back. We have Icicle Crest, Ice Shard, Knockoff, and Poison Jab. Of course, you just got the strong stabs, and then you have Poison Jab in order to hit the Florges. Very straightforward. Next up, we have Miltank. This is a thick, fat defensive Miltank. I brought this in order to take on the Charizard X, as well as a little bit of the Mienshao, because it did have the Chople Berry. I had a Chople Berry Miltank with Stealth Rock, Counter, Thunder Punch, and Milk Drink. In the long run, it would have been smarter to have Body Slam, as we'll see later on. But I felt like it would have been an interesting prep to bring. I just wanted to bring, stuff, because he knows how well I am with my Lodic, so I know he was going to prep for my Lodic and stuff like that. He was probably scared of Latios, even though I hate a Latios and Florges matchup, so that's why I didn't opt to bring it. So I just knew he was gonna bring stuff he wasn't gonna, or knew he was gonna prep for things I wasn't gonna bring, basically. So that's why I felt like Miltank would have been good enough. And Miltank actually walled Charizard X and stuff like that, so that was really interesting. And the counter I just felt like would have been a really cool play. And I needed a Stealth Rock setter versus team because I mean he's got the Charizard, the Crobat, things like that you want to punish when they come in. And then next up, I have a defensive Rocky Helmet Tangrowth. This was, of course, only for the Mean Chow. Also, in case, like, Brave Bird Scarm or Walls the Togedemaru. And even Charizard X, because I can live one Flamethrower before Dragon Dance. Or not Flamethrower, Flare Blitz before Dragon Dance, maybe. That's going to be close. I don't promise me on that, but basically it's just a wall. I had Synthesis, Leech Seed, Giga Drain, and Rock Slide. Rock Slide, of course, just hit that Charizard, and the rest just explains itself. So starting off this battle, Showdown actually messed up, but it gave me 2 Hidden Power Grounds on Coco, so I quickly went and switched that. And then I was good to face Nico, and I knew he felt like Mean Chow was a safe lead, because it gets a high jump kick off on literally everything. And it can click U-turn if it wants just for momentum. So I felt like leading Scarf Coco definitely would have been a nice lead, because majority of the time people don't expect that, especially if it's own Scarf Mean Chow. We could have predicted like Poison Jab, and that is what happened turn 1, and it was beautiful. I just clicked Dazzling Gleam with Coco. Mean Chow goes right down. He was like, what? I wasn't expecting Scarf Coco. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool like that. So Togedemaru does come out. It does have Air Balloon. So I wanted to go out and pop the Air Balloon on this thing, figuring he would go for momentum or something of the sort, and he does. He goes for U-turn. I actually forgot this thing got Poison Jab, so that was actually risky. But he opts to go Crobat, knowing I am Scarfed. So I go hard Klefki here, and he shows to be a Nasty Plot Crobat. And this was actually a lot scarier than predicted, because if when I was going over my team, I did not mention any Spadef on my team because I didn't have any Spadef. I had only Physical, because when you look at his team, the only special attacking mons he really has is Florges, Manaphy, and I think he's got like 1 or 2 more. Florges, Manaphy, I guess you can count Mesprit. And yeah, that's just about it. Majority of them are Physical from there on out. So bringing a Nasty Block Crobat was really smart on his part, because Crobat's stab and speed did a lot versus my team anyways. So the fact he brought that was very clever. Unfortunately for him, I just went for T-Wave just to go ahead and get it off. I knew Klefki would go down to Heat Wave, but he missed it, which was unfortunate, and he decided to switch out here. And I was still going to sack Klefki, because Klefki was meant to take on a physical attacking Crobat. And at that point, if Crobat, of course, was special, I might as well just sack Klefki and get a form of momentum on my own part. So that's why I just opted to do that. And he goes into Togedemaru on the Flash Cannon, and I can easily go switch into Miltank here. Probably should have went Tangrowth, but I opted Miltank so I could get up Stealth Rocks. And I do have that Thunder Punch, so I can take on Skarmory a little bit. But after I get up Stealth Rocks, you do notice this is a fully defensive Rocky Helmet Skarmory, one of my favorite sets for Skarm. He does get up his own Stealth Rocks instead. I go for the Milk Drink here, while he opts to go for the Whirlwind. And that brings me directly into Beedrill. So I opted to Mega Evolve and just click Knock Off to get rid of the Rocky Helmet, so that's not a pain for things later on. Because I knew he was going to Whirlwind me out anyways, since B didn't do anything to Skarmory. And this switches me out into Tangrowth, and I opted to go for a free Leech Seed right here. Get a little health back, and I knew this was going to pressure him out, and I knew he would probably want an offensive form. So I clicked Rock Slide in case of Crobat or Charizard, and he does go Charizard. So I get that nice Rock Slide read right there. And now we have a 6-4 lead as he goes Crobat again. I opted to stay in here because I knew I could live a Heat Wave anyways if he went for one. I wouldn't have done much, but I was, regen, so it's like it wouldn't have been too bad. He opts to switch out there, and I do believe I just continue Rock Sliding. So Skarmory takes a little bit more. Here he opts for the physical, and of course I eat it because I'm defensive Tangrowth with Rocky Helmet. And I get Leech Seed, and that Skarm took more than it did to me, which was very interesting. Of course, he's just going to go for a few Roosts right here. I went for Rock Slide, forgetting that, it gets rid of its flying typing. So that's whatever. But I knew he was going to switch out here, so I opted for Leech Seed again on whatever wanted to come in, whether that was going to be Florges or Togedemaru. And I was kind of surprised he went Togedemaru, considering I do have that Rocky Helmet he noticed, and Togedemaru is only physical. So he just go for the U-turn here, and he just takes more. And I just opted for Giga Drain on the incoming Florges. And I knew Florges was going to be a problem, special attack based, and Tangrowth was low on that, so I decided to go Klefki. Klefki absolutely walls this thing unless he has like HP Fire. And he goes for Psychic, probably predicting B or something, which was a fair play. And we eat that right up, and he decides to make a switch out into Skarmory. And this is where I decide to double into Koko, which is a very fair play. Now, right here is a very important part of the game. I mean, you already see it. I don't know why I predicted him to sack Skarm. I think it was mainly because I was getting the reads on him like majority of this game so far. The only thing that he actually like somewhat got me on was Nasty Plot Crobat. That wasn't even a read, that was just good prep. So I was kind of having the advantage on Nico here. So that's why I felt like he would have just stayed in and gotten a roost off this time. So he could have just taken on other things better on my team. But of course he just makes the switch into Togedemaru. I really could have went, if I went for HP Ground here, this changed the entire game. Because you'll see this game, this is where it starts going south at this point. Like, I'm just dominating this entire game, this is where it goes from here. But I figured he would just pull a double or something, so I click Thunderbolt again, but he still stays in. He decides to go for the Thief. Apparently this was his way of being an answer to Alolan Marowak. He would just come in on Alolan Marowak and he would take away my Thick Club. I didn't even notice this Togedemaru didn't have an item in the beginning. Well, no, it had the Air Balloon, never mind. But that was actually good prep, because Air Balloon always pops, and then you just go for Thief the following. So he got rid of my Choice Scarf, which was pretty clever. And I still wish I clicked HP Ground on the switch in there, but it's okay. And once again, I forgot that Togedemaru does get Poison Jab, so this following turn I was going to click in a Power Ground, but he goes for a P-Jab and kills Koko, which is basically almost my way of winning at this point. So I just go hard Klefki, considering he asked to switch, and I go for Heal Block here, considering anything that wants to come in might want to get up a Roost or a Wish. So that was a good play on my part, I feel like. And this Crobat unfortunately gets parried again, but Klefki will just take it down with the Flash Cannon, and he can freely go into Skarmory here. I figured he was going for the Whirlwind, but I didn't want to risk the Roost since I don't have Koko anymore, so I just went for Heal Block still. And we go straight into Sneasel. I'm like, okay, Banded Icicle Crash kills from here. That's easy. So we missed the first one. He clicks Brave Bird. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks, but at least I can still click it again. And then Icicle Crash misses again. So I'm like, that's okay. Not really. And at this point, I guess that's justice for his Heat Waves missing on Crobat. Or missing and then getting parried. But at the same time, that still sucks. So the knockoff happens there. He goes Togedemaru here, and he has the Choice Scarf. So I'm forced to switch here, and I went into Tangrowth. And as we see, once again, stupid showdown. I mean, it's probably me, because I made this team a few days before I actually battled. I didn't do Regenerator Tangrowth again. I swear I did that in one of these weeks. But the fact is, I didn't have regen, so I came in on lower health. That made somewhat of a difference, but not the biggest difference. Either way, this Togedemaru goes for U-turn and takes Rocky Helmet damage. That's the only reason regen would have been helpful. That entire damage right there. 25, like, Tangrowth would have eaten it. And he goes into Florges here, and this forces me to switch. I would have switched anyways if I had regen, but I go hard Klefki. He just goes for Moonblast, and this is where he gets special attack drops. This is where Klefki needs Smart Strike or Iron Head. So we can go with Play Rough, and he doesn't have to rely on the Flash Cannon, because he gets 2 special attack drops in a row. I get a crit on the Flash Cannon, which is good, because I'm tired of these hacks right now. It's a really ugly battle. And I make a double here going into Beedrill, knowing he's going to go for a healing type move, which was a misplay. Why didn't I just go for Heal Block? It would have been Prankster, it would have went first. I was really just, it was just, even if he went Togedemaru, Beedrill would have went down anyways, because he would have had the Choice Scarf, and he lives on the next coming in Rocks. And then this puts me in the worst 50-50 of my life. So basically, if he goes Togedemaru, and I click P-Jab, then I lose Beedrill. And basically, I'm forced to go into Tangrowth, and he has to hard switch from there. But if I click Drill Run and he goes Togedemaru, I win the game, because I click Drill Run and then I click Poison Jab on Florges the following turn. So, of course, considering I got like all these good plays on Nico so far, I'm like, he's probably going Togen and Mario again. But Nico was actually the only time he did actually read me. He said he finally understood my battle strategy at this point, and he understood I was going to go for a drill run. So that was a good play on his part, because he does stay in with Florges and just click Psychic or Moonblast, either one it kills. Moonblast. And of course we did nothing to Florges. And I basically lose at this point. There's no way I can come back because Tangrowth doesn't have a regen. I could do switches with that and stuff, but Klefki just has to come get the heal block. I should have went for Flash Cannon knowing he was going to just click attack move first, but you know, just had to start somewhere. And it gets another special attack drop and Flash Cannon does less. That damage actually did matter at this point, which really sucks. He get a crit, didn't matter. He would have probably killed me anyways with that Moonblast, because the roll was in his favor, definitely. Then I go Miltank here. I go for Thunder Punch. He gets low. He still heal blocks, so he can't switch. If I had Body Slam, that would have been a lot more damage there. If I had Body Slam, I actually just won the game at this point. And he goes on Togen Mario on my Milk Drink, which is fine. And I didn't want to risk Thunder Punch not killing for some reason, so I opted counter here, because of course he was going to go for attacking move. And in comes the Florges. I know he's going to go for Synthesis here, so actually no, I went for Thunder Punches in case I got the kill. And I did get the para, but no para hack, so he didn't get the Synthesis. And I knew he was going to go for it again, so I opted to go in the Tangrowth. I really wanted to get this Leech Seed off just so it would help, but he does get a Toxic instead of Heal. So I managed to get this Leech Seed off, but it's not really going to matter. Tangrowth goes down to the Moonblast. And Miltank cannot, unfortunately, take this on. I need a para right here so he doesn't get the Toxic on me, basically. And we get the Thunder Punch, terrible damage. And, of course, he gets the Toxic, no para. Which is, I mean, it's whatever. Hacks would have been just more hacks at this point with this ugly battle. And at this point, he can just get one Synthesis off and he wins the game. And there he goes. So from there, it's just stall and then a few Moonblasts. So from a battle that looks like there was no way I could lose when it was 6-4 at that one point, just not getting the proper read, and then this just being the ugliest and hackiest battle ever. This was awful. This was absolutely disgusting. Like, I don't want to battle like this ever again. I told Nico if this wasn't like late and I was tired, that I would have wanted a rematch just to see how this would actually have went. Well, one, I didn't want a rematch after he knew my sets anyways, but like, just to see if, like, neither of us had this many hacks. Like, the misses on Icicle Crash, Heatwave Paras, those Spadef drops, me actually having regen on Tangrowth. This battle would have been so different. So very different. I would have wished it went that way, because we were both hacks. I can't complain about it on my side just for, like, misses and Icicle Crashes and stuff. He got the only 50-50 that mattered in the entire game, basically. I think I played very well, and then it just went downhill at the end because I had nothing else I could do. I just didn't play. I just didn't do one read, or two reads. The Tapu Koko Togedemaru read, and then the 50-50 with Beedrill and Florges. So that was a very upsetting game, very depressing game. But it's alright. We'll bounce back from it again. This battle actually amazed me how weird it was. But that'll be it for me this week. We are now, I always do this with outros, but my record is now 3-2. Definitely not what I like it. Honestly, in my opinion, still it should be 5-0. I'm not saying that in a cocky manner, but this battle was just stupid. I mean, I can't say 5-0. There's definitely a chance I could be 4-1 after this battle, because in my opinion, I still should have beat Friesh. But this battle with Nico, it was just so ugly. I couldn't tell who would actually won without all this crap going on. Because that special attacking Koko definitely would have been interesting, but... Or no, sorry, special attacking Crobat. But we're now 3-2 with a, I don't know, +10 differential, something like that. Let me go check. We're still, like, at the top of the league, but after this week we probably won't be, which is sad, but whatever. We are at a... What? That's not right. Is it 4? Yeah, that's not right. I'm at a +10 differential. Okay. But, so 3-1 with the +10 isn't that bad, but we definitely want to come back from that, because that was a very awkward battle. and hopefully we can get some wins from here on out, because I do want to be at the top of the leaderboards when it comes to playoffs later on. So that'll be it for me this week. Make sure to check out the APA that I should have already uploaded for the week 1 of season 7. Going to be very nice. And also check out my multi-battle league with Point Blank. Don't know when I'm going to be putting that up, but make sure to check it out. It'll be coming out sometime this weekend. And sub, like, share, deuces.